Hello, everyone. Rod Armanda, immigration and personal injury attorney representing immigration clients in all 50 states nationwide and representing personal injury clients in the state of California. Here in downtown Los Angeles at my office, I wanted to just report and give you guys an update about a recent interview I had here in downtown Los Angeles at the 300 North office with a client who had received their green card, but it was a conditional green card. And so, what is a conditional green card? It's basically if you are married to your petitioner and you're getting your green card through marriage, and the marriage is less than 2 years, then USCIS will issue you a conditional green card, which is only good for 2 years, as opposed to a unconditional green card, which is good for 10 years. And so why is that important is that you have to file a form, an I-751, to remove the conditions of that green card. And that has to happen within 90 days of your 2 years that are up. There's a number of exceptions if you fail to file it within that 90 days before the 2 years is up. But I'm not going to get into that at this point, but just be aware you need to file to remove the conditions within 90 days of the 2 years coming up once you receive a conditional green card. And this gentleman had done that. But the issue with removal of conditions is that USCIS right now is taking 2 years or even longer on average to actually approve these applications. It requires you to go to another interview again and basically convince an adjudicating officer of USCIS that marriage is still valid. It's a good faith marriage, it's a bona fide marriage, and it wasn't entered for the purpose of just receiving an immigration benefit in the form of a green card. And so it takes a long time, but someone who has had a green card through marriage at least for 3 years. Now, if it's not through marriage, it's usually 5 years. But after 3 years of having the green card, you can also file for naturalization to become a citizen. And this is a good way to basically fast track the adjudication of the removal of condition application by filing the naturalization applications. Of course, they have to make sure they've been here for the last 3 years, for a certain amount of days. Every year it should be no trips that are more than 6 months. And there's a whole aggregate to that. And you can obviously reach out to me and I could, screen you for eligibility about naturalization. But the point of this video is that it's a great way to fast track and get your I-751, the removal conditions application process, by filing an N-400 naturalization application. Because when you're eligible, basically after 2 years and 9 months of being a resident, to file for naturalization if you meet all the other requirements and are eligible for naturalization. And the great thing about that is that once you file naturalization, you're getting an interview usually within about 6 months. So if you filed your I-751, let's say close to 2 years of having your green card, you're probably not going to hear back for another 2 years. So in a year, around 3 years, you can file for naturalization. You can have your interview. They'll basically combine the 751 and the naturalization application, and then they'll have an interview and they'll adjudicate it, and you'll get both your I-751 approved and your naturalization, and you become a citizen. You don't have to wait for the 751 to be adjudicated and then go and file for naturalization, which is something that a lot of people don't know. So be aware of that. This gentleman was fortunate. We went to the interview. The officer wanted them to basically ask him a bunch of questions and make sure they were still in a good faith marriage. He was really kind of rough around the edges at first, but we just stayed professional and answered the question. And of course, you want to always be cordial with them. Some attorneys, tend to get combative with officers, and I don't really agree with that. I think that, they do have a right to question your client and make sure that it's a legitimate relationship. Fortunately, obviously, these clients were in a legitimate relationship, and it was very clear after some of the questioning, and the complete mood of the officer changed, and it was approved. And now this gentleman will be swearing in soon and becoming a United States citizen, so congratulations to him. And if you need anything with immigration, or if you've been in an accident or you need personal injury case, then please reach out to me. You can click below. You can go to the link in my bio, or you can go to rodarmandalaw.com or call 213-567-4494. I look forward to speaking to you. Have a nice day.